Welcome to this radio channel, and today we're going to talk about the Soft66RTL device and especially the little control here for the RF gain of the device. Now the Soft66RTL comes with this little RF gain potentiometer. You can actually use a very small screwdriver and play with how sensitive basically the device is. And there's a reason why there's an RF gain, because you might think in your head, well, why not put it maximum? It's going to be very sensitive. Not a good idea, because the Soft 66 is an inexpensive device. It does have a few drawbacks. One of them is it's easily overloaded. So you got to be careful how you set this. Now that's the first setting, because we're going to go this week into the settings of SDR Sharp and HD SDR to play with also software RF gain. First of all, be very careful. It's easy to break it. If you're, don't force it. When you get to the maximum, you feel that it doesn't want to move anymore, you just stop. You don't force it or anything, because it's easy to break. And the idea behind the RF gain here is that you're not going to play much with it. What you need to do is find the correct setting and leave it there. The rest will be in the software, and basically once you've set it to a certain level, you probably will never really play with it much. So what I do is I've actually played a lot with it to try to tweak it to the best setting possible. And what I did is I left the RF gain in the software about halfway up, and I started tweaking the RF gain here and see when it actually overloads. And you can hear it when you play with the RF gain and you're listening to the radio stations on your software. What you'll notice is if you put the RF gain too high, you're going to start hearing like all sorts of spurious little signals, tones, or a mix of two stations together. You'll be hearing more than one voice. That means you're setting it too high. My setting here, from what I perceive, is about 65-70%, not much more. Of course I don't put it maximum, and it's set to about 60 to 70%, and with the like tolerance between each Soft 66 RTL, you'll be anywhere from 50 to maybe 75%. You'll find a spot where it's sensitive yet doesn't overload, and you'll leave room for also the settings and the software so that you can actually bring it higher if you want, because it doesn't overload equally everywhere. There are frequency ranges where you'll see that it overloads very easily. One example is the medium wave band. It easily overloads with all the local medium wave stations, so you'll need to set it lower. And there are other regions of the frequency spectrum where it doesn't overload as easily, and you can push the RF gain higher. That's why I say set the RF gain in the software to about halfway through. Play with this one until you start hearing spurious signals, then back off a little bit. Like I said, you'll probably set it from 50 to 75% about in its region. Now, after you've set this, technically you probably will never play with it again, and just leave it as it is and tweak the RF gain in software in SDR Sharp or HD SDR. So that's the first thing that you'll need to know. Second thing about the inputs, make sure you don't have the two inputs with the antennas. I've noticed that if you have a VHF antenna and a HF antenna plugged in together, you're going to have FM station breakthrough across the device. So what I do, I want to listen to shortwave. I'll have only HF input with my wire on it, and I'll unplug the VHF input antenna. That's how you'll get the best reception and the least FM stations break through the device. Once again, it's a simple device in the sense that at $40 you don't have something that's very complex here. So it does have some drawbacks. But by playing with that, you'll see that you will acquire a pretty decent and pretty interesting reception level. But it requires a little bit of tweaking. So unplug the VHF input antenna when you listen to shortwave so that it doesn't overload. The reverse is not necessary. I haven't noticed any differences if you leave the HF antenna input on. So you can leave the HF antenna all the time. It's just that when you're listening to shortwave, removing the VHF antenna input is better. So you'll unplug any VHF antenna you have when you listen to shortwave, basically. So that's the first information I have for you. And look at the videos this week because we're going to tweak and play with HD SDR and SDR Sharp so that you can learn a little more how to tweak and also how to see in the waterfall of the software when the gain is too high or when there's interference, and kind of, explain a little bit what you see with your eyes, what it means. If you enjoy my videos, why not subscribe to my channel? You'll be informed when new videos are online. Give us thumbs up if you like the videos, and hope you'll enjoy this series on setting up your software-defined radio.